So very good morning everyone. In this video I am going to discuss about how to set up small animal house facility in India. See, it's not like that. Suppose you have taken some room, one or two rooms on rent, and you are saying, okay, in one room we will keep the rat, and one room we will keep the mice. It's not like that. You have to construct your animal house facility, particularly in India, as per CPCSEA guideline. So, what are the requirements to set up the small animal house facility in India? Step by step, I am going to discuss. According to the guidelines, you have to make your layout of the animal house facilities, and in the layout, you have to be mentions which rooms, how many numbers of room you have to be make, and it's mentions in the CPCSA guidelines which rooms are mandatory, which you have to be keep, what should be their size, what should be the height, everything has been mentioned. So, first room which is required in the animal house facility is the change room. Change room is the room where you have to keep your personal protective equipments like gloves, mask, your lab coat. So whenever the person's going to enter in the animal house facility, so first in the change room they will wear these personal protective equipment. In change room you can also keep a logbook. Not can keep, but you have to be logbook in the change room. So whatever the person is entering in the animal house facilities, they have to be make entry in the logbook. So change room is required in every animal house facilities. The change room should be there. Another one is quarantine room. Quarantine room is also must. Particularly, this room is used. Suppose you have purchased animals from some other animal house facility. So first you have to keep these animals in the quarantine room, and then you have to shift that animals to the animal holding room. So quarantine room should also be in your animal house facilities. uh, you should also have a animal holding rooms, and animal holding room numbers will be depend upon your requirements. If suppose you are planning to keep only rat and mice, then you should have a separate room for mice and separate room for rat, right? Sure. So, but in mice also or in rat, if suppose you are planning to keep a two or three strains, so for every strains you have to be kept in a separate room. Suppose you are planning to have a Vista rat as well as SD rat. So one room you have to be dedicated for SD rat, one room you have to be dedicated for Vista rat. So depending upon your requirements, you have to be make your animal holding rooms for each strains. Breeding rooms is applicable if your animal house facility have a approval for breeding of animals. If you don't have approvals, there is not required to keep breeding rooms in your animal house facility. But yes, if you in future you have a planning to get a approval for breeding of animals, so you should have the breeding rooms, and breeding room also you should have a separate for rats, separate for mice, and separate for each strain. But depending upon the approval, if you have, then you can make a breeding rooms also. Then there is a provision of clean and dirty corridor. What does it mean? Clean and dirty corridor means outside the rooms area, that is allowed to be considered a dirty corridor, and where the animals are directly exposed to the outer environment, that is the clean corridor. So normally, what in animal house facility we are doing? Yeah, from the dirty corridor, we are transferring our material to the clean corridor. So in dirty corridors wall, there is a window for the transfer of material, particularly the material sterilized, your bedding materials. You have to be transfer in the clean room. So from that window, you have to be transfer your whatever the material you have sterilized to the clean room. And in clean room, whenever anyone is entered into a clean room, they have to wear all these personal protective equipment, or they have to pass through a change room, and in change room they have to be changed each and every that shoes covers, head cap, gloves, lab coat, everything has to be wear. So that should be another one is animal experimental room should be in your animal house facilities, where you have to be conduct the experiments on animals. See, the animal in animal holding room you can't perform an experiment. You should have a separate room for where you can conduct the animal experiment. Suppose if you would like to do a surgery on animals, so you should have the surgical separate surgical room where you should have a surgical table or all other necessary things to perform a surgery. So another room which is required in your animal house facility as per CPCSEA is rehabilitation room. Rehabilitation room is useful particularly when suppose you have done an experiment, particularly pharmacokinetic experiment, where at the end of experiments you are not going to sacrifice the animal because you have only taken the blood and just measure the concentration of the drug in the blood. So you are not going to sacrifice the animal. So if you have not sacrificed the animal after the completion of experiment, so you have to keep these animal for the rehabilitation, and for that one you should have a separate room for the rehabilitation. You should also have a storeroom where you can store your feeding material, your cages, your water bottles, everything you can store in a storeroom related to animal house facilities. You should have a washing areas where you can wash your cages, your water bottles, or whatever other things. You should also have a disposable area where you can keep a animals, whatever the waste material, not waste material, but store the animal wastage prior to incinerations or removal. So that you can keep in a disposable area. Particularly in many institutes there is not a facility of incineration, so they do the collaborations with your disposable companies, so they take up this disposable material and then they do the incinerations. So what you should have a area where you can keep all the waste which is generated from the animals, or animals that biological, that we consider as biological waste. So these are the common requirement which should be in every animal house facilities if you are thinking in India. So the other thing is, so now you have made a layout of animal house facilities. These many rooms as per your requirement is required, or as per CPCSE guideline is required. Now next thing is when you are going to do a constructions of animal house facility. So building material should be durable, moisture proof, fire resistant, and seamless material. It's written in the guideline. You should use the paint, not patent, sorry, paint which should be microbial resistant. Floor should be monolithic, epoxy smooth, moisture proof, non-adsorbent, skid proof, resistant to wear acids, etc. Windows are not recommended in animal house facility, particularly where you keep your animals. So windows are not recommended. Doors should be vermin and dust proof, and it should be noise control also. Power and lightning, noise levels you have to be maintained in your animal house as per guideline. Exhaust you can put in a, particularly in the washing areas you can put exhaust. Temperature and humidities you have to be controlled as per regulatory guidelines. You should have a rack stands where you can keep the cages, and you should have in a cages water bottles or everything. You should have a bedding material which you can keep in cages to keep the animals. You should provide the feed to the animals should be palatable, non-contaminated, and nutritionally adequate. And utility washroom is required. Washroom is not required for animals, but washroom is required for the persons who are working in the animal house facilities. Water lines should be there, drain pipes, and electric connections. So everything should be in your animal house facility. So I am just giving a hypothetical example. Suppose you have constructed your animal house as per the regulatory guidelines. So next, what you have to do? These temperature you have to be maintained in animal house facilities, particularly where you have kept the animals in quarantine room or any animal holding room. You have to be maintain temperature and humidity. It's not required to maintain temperature and humidity in the storeroom. What is the point to maintain temperature and humidity of the storeroom? So you have to be maintained, particularly where you are going to deal with the animals. In experimental room you have to be maintained, and to record this temperature and humidity there is a digital recorders where automatically that room temperature and humidity will be recorded. And that as per guideline it should be temperature should be 18 to 29 degrees Celsius, humidity should be between 30 to 70 degree. Noise levels less should be less than 80 decibel. See, if you have constructed animal house facility in very crowded areas or where the noise level is very high, so it can disturb the animals. So when you will submit your application for registration, so regulatory authority can ask so many questions, means how you will deal with it. Light intensity should be maintained, and lux meter is a small digital device By using that one, we can measure the intensity of light, and as per CPCSA guideline, it should be less than 400 lux. So, and you should have in your animal house facility autoputter. Autoputters will maintain your 12 hours light and dark cycles. Recently, as per CPCSA guidelines, you should have CCTV cameras in your animal house facility, particularly in entry, in animal folding rooms. You should have this CCTV camera, and whenever the CPCSEA inspector will visit for an inspection or IAC meeting will conduct, CPCSA nominee can ask for CCTV footage. Autoclave should be there in your animal house facilities for the sterilization of feed materials, for particularly the bedding material. We are using autoclave for the sterilization. As you know, most of the infections animal will catch from the bedding material, so bedding material should be sterilized. So this is the now I give a suppose you have constructed a building, you have maintained each and everything, temperature, humidity, noise level, everything you have maintained. So what is the next step? So next thing is you have to be recruit a animal house staff. In animal house staff, you have to be recruit a person who will take care of animal, that is animal caretaker, sweepers for cleaning process, and you have to be provide time to time training to the staff which you have recruited. You have to be health checkup of animal as well as the health checkup of the persons who are working in animal house facilities. So, health checkup will be done by your veterinary doctor on regular basis. Now, as per guideline, a regular veterinary doctor is must in your animal house facilities, who will do the health checkup of animals, and health checkup of personnel who are working in your animal house facilities will done by the physician time to time. So suppose you have done everything. So what is the next step? Next step is you have to fill a form A, that is the application for registration of breeder, establishment and educational institute. And this form is available at the CPCSA website. You have to fill that form. All the informations, whether you have all the required facility in your animal house facility as per the guideline or not. You have to fill this form and submit to the CPCSA. After that, CPCSA can send a CPCSA inspector to inspect your animal house facility to verify whatever you have mentioned in your form A is physically present or not. So after the inspection, depending upon inspections, they can make a report. Is there any minor modification is required? Is there major modification is required? Or directly they can approve or can reject also your animal house facility. Or if there is a major revision, then again CPCSEA inspector can visit your animal house facility, and if the inspector is satisfied, then you will get a approval of animal house facilities. So after this approval, you will get a registration number of your animal house facility. So after registrations, next video we will discuss what information we can get from registration number of animal house facility. So thank you.